Hi everyone, how about grabbing a cuppa and joining me to see my makes from April and a couple from March as well. I thought I'd better pop on and show you some of the things that I've made. I know that I've been promising to bring you the blouses that I've created from April, from the Sew April Blouse Challenge that Gabrielle and I had hosted. That was so epic. We had so many, I think it was close to 500 entries, which was phenomenal. The amount of creative people out there is just incredible. And I've got my blouse on today. I've made quite a few things here. I love making blouses because they're so practical. You can pair them back with your favorite pair of jeans. They're great for dressing up. They don't use a lot of fabric. But the thing I'm loving about blouse making lately is all of the statement sleeves that are out there. There's so many beautiful patterns. Speaking of which, I am bringing you a brand new May patterns episode very shortly. There's so many new releases. But yeah, I've got my Helen's Closet March blouse on. Now this blouse actually gets promoted every March. Helen makes sure to put it out there just to have a look. And I know it's about 2 years old now, this pattern, but it's one that I had in my pattern stash for a while and thought, just finding the right fabric sometimes can be the thing that holds you up on making things. And I actually had this beautiful fabric given to me. It was from Mikey at My Design and Winding Road Studios did a collab. Winding Road Studios is a little local artist there up there in the high country in Victoria. And they decided to do some beautiful fabrics. So I used this gorgeous ginkgo poplin fabric. Look at the color of the blue. I'll put some pics up so you can see. I love this with the March blouse because that statement sleeve, it's quite a big sleeve, really gets that focus with this poplin-y sort of fabric. It gives it a lot of body. I think you'd get a totally different looking blouse if you use like a drapey rayon or viscose. You could do that. I find that little bit of structure really helps to keep the neckline up because I know a lot of people were saying that the neckline will sag a little bit if you don't have a tie there. So I find it's perfect with this because it sits up really nicely without sort of flopping open. And I've gone for the style with the straight kind of waistline area. I've went for a 14. And I think next time I would definitely grade out to a 16 around the hip area because the 14's fine, just sits really roomy up top, but I need a little bit extra room around the middle because I didn't go for that kind of gathered skirt option. I went for the straight option. But of course, the sleeves were too long on me. I really need to learn my lesson and stop trying to finish things off with cuffs because you can see, the sleeves are just a tiny, tiny bit long. That one I've actually turned up. But yeah, you probably even put elastic casing in this if you wanted to as well. But I find that with sleeves, I'm always forever having to take a good 10 centimeters off the length. And this is like a drop shoulder design too. So a really nice pattern. I'd love to see it done in the dress form as well. I think it's, it's a real winner. You can see why it was so popular. And especially for the Sew April Blouse Challenge, there's a couple of really popular patterns that stood out. One being the Anna Allen Anthea blouse. The other was the Friday Pattern Company Sage Brush blouse. That was very, very popular. You can see those ones come through again and again because they are a nice kind of simple make with that nice statement sleeve. But you also, I think they're more simplified. You can use a nice showy fabric to kind of showcase that. But they're great for people heading into summer as well, which a lot of you in the Northern Hemisphere are finding those short puff sleeves are really practical. Having a little cuppa before I pick the youngest two up. This is a Madam Flavour tea. It's the lime and ginger one I'm just trying out. It's really lovely. And I couldn't resist. This cup was from Adair's. I love Adair's homewares. It's an artist called Togetherness Designs, and I bought the cup and the little matching plate for myself. It just looks so cute because it's sort of hand painted looking. I really love that black background with the lemons. It's really pretty. I'd love to get fabric like that. That'd be a gorgeous design. Anyway, that's my afternoon cuppa. Let's get back to the different blouses that I made for April. This was the top secret blouse that the fabric, this is the fabric, the beautiful Art Nouveau fabric that was in April's Art Nouveau bespoke box. A lot of you loved that because it was just a really unusual design, that geometric floral. The colour is really unusual. It's like a kind of a blue, but it almost looks like a purple because of the red line through it. I really loved it. A couple of people got the other design, which was the red background and the blue flower, because we had some extra orders go through and we ran out of fabric. But yeah, I really love the fabric, and I wanted something to complement it, have kind of a showy, little bit dressy blouse. And I was really stewing on that for quite a long time, trying to come up with some different ideas. And I came up with the idea of using the Pattern Scout Romy top, which is a blouse or a dress. It's been around for about a year or two, I think, this pattern. And I've seen a lot of beautiful versions, but I wanted to make it with that little peplumy kind of waist, that beautiful pleating on the shoulders. I used some little shoulder pads in there as well, just some soft little shoulder pads to give it a bit of structure. And I love the length of the sleeve. It's got the little kind of Art Deco-y style buttons on there, which are really cute with the fabric. One at the waist as well there. And I love wearing that with a pair of jeans. It's quite a dressy little blouse, but you can see that yoke at the back. It's got that nice detailing there as well. So I'll pop some pics up so you can see how this one turned out. And I would love to know how many of you went on to buy that with that special discount, because of course when you buy the bespoke box every month, you get a discount code for the pattern that I've sewn up. So that if you haven't ever bought that pattern or seen it, you can get it at a cheaper price. And you can also see how it looks in the fabric that you'll have exactly the same. So it was quite a really nice make. I love Casey's from Pattern Scout. I love her patterns because of the detail she puts in there, and they just have a beautiful finish to them and a nice sort of almost a dressy kind of structured feel sometimes, but very easily worn with a pair of jeans to dress down as well. So that was one you wouldn't have seen yet, but I love that sort of fitted at the waist and flared out little peplum. I don't have many things quite like that, so I wanted to have something a bit different. So yeah, really happy with how that turned out. And I think Casey has got a brand new pattern as well, which I'll be talking about in my next episode with the brand new May patterns that I've released. It's just so many that I think you're going to love. Next on the list of makes, this one I think you're really going to love. It's a brand new Wander pattern from the Fibre Mood, from the most recent Fibre Mood mag. I straight away thought this linen silk from Cloth Edit would be beautiful in the Wander because of the kind of simple nature of it with the floaty A-line shape. It's got rivets and a lace-up detail, so you just have to make sure that when you make your tie that it's going to thread through the rivets. The rivets are quite easy to put on. I hadn't really done much with rivets before, but there's a lot of different YouTube tutorials for things like that if you haven't ventured into that kind of thing. It's just a really unique look. On the thing that really stood out to me about this was that beautiful puff sleeve. There's so much pleating in it. The pleats go sort of up one way and up the other, and they make this gorgeous kind of beautiful grooves through the sleeve. That the way that the puff sleeve stands up when you've got it on, it really gives an interesting structure. But it's so soft and delicate as well. And I love anything with kind of unique pleating in there as well. And I think Fibre Mood patterns, I really haven't made a blouse that I haven't liked. I've loved every one I've made, especially that Horton's blouse, the black one. I made a lot of you love that with the shirring. But this one, again, I think is a real beautiful pattern. But look at the fabric. I mean, it's just so gorgeous and luscious with that burgundy and the pink and that kind of soft sagey green, a bit of deep green there. And I've used my little Kylie in the Machine label. I'm loving having all of those. I know that a lot of people went out and bought that advent calendar full of labels, and I must admit I've loved having that variety. So I would say be getting more of them. Another one of those advent calendars for Christmas. And I know you guys would be interested in if I had them in the shop as well. I think it'd be a fantastic thing to be able to sell you guys, to be organised. I'm actually thinking about having an advent calendar myself, which would be launched in October. I'd love to hear if you guys are interested in that and doing maybe a 12 days of Christmas with some little notions and gifts and edibles and things like that. As well as that, I'll be doing a December box, which will be kind of a bit Christmassy themed with the fabric as well. It won't be a novelty fabric as such, but it'll have a good bit of a Christmas theme. So I'm actually going to be really busy for December doing both of those. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you interested in an advent calendar? If you are, write in the comments and let me know what you'd like to see. I think a 12 days might be a bit more manageable for me, and the numbers would be limited again. It would be done very similar to like the bespoke box launched on a certain date. So keep a lookout for some emails that will be sent through to the subscriber list if you haven't subscribed to the website and you want to be kept up to date and in a loop with all of the happenings, the Dahlia Society. I'd love to hear that, and I'd love to hear what you would love to see in the online store. I actually had a lovely viewer reach out to me and suggest that she would love to see an advent calendar, and that would have to be organised quite early, so you get it way before the end of November, probably mid-November they'd be delivered, so you'd had it ready and ready waiting to go for the 1st of December. But yeah, interesting. But I love that blouse. Let me show you some pics and video of the Wander and see what you think. And don't forget, the Wander can be made in a dress as well as the blouse. I really love Fibre Mood mag patterns. And don't forget, when you download a PDF pattern from Fibre Mood, the seam allowance will always be there for you to use, but in the mag, they're not. So you need to add that seam allowance on. And a few people have been caught out before by not remembering to add the seam allowance on. It can make all the difference to how the pattern will fit you. But really pretty blouse. I've already worn it out. I had a little cream kind of a suede biker jacket over the top of it with some jeans. It looked really cute. But I think even a nice pale pink cardi would be really soft over that fabric as well. Mabel's come for a visit. This is Mabel. She's my little blue torty Burmese, and she has just about gone blind. She's 20 years old now. She's she's such a precious little thing, but she's tiny. She's always been a tiny little thing, haven't you, Mabel? Purring. Is she purring? But she's a real sweetheart, aren't you? She likes to have cuddles, and she feels the cold because she's so tiny now and she's very frail. I actually bought her one of those heated blankets to put on the couch so she can stay nice and toasty and warm, but she does look for the cuddles throughout the day to keep warm. I've had a pretty cool day here today in Melbourne. It's been a lot of rain as well, so I brought you inside. Now, this one I've already shown you on the announcement of the So April blouse winners. This was the Marsha style Courtney blouse, which loved it. Love it, the art teacher vibes, the art teacher kind of smock feel. I love how it's nice and big and billowy. It is very oversized and the sleeves are really statementy, but how awesome does it look with that fabric? That Revel, I think it's linen silk again from Cloth Edit. I love how it came up with that beautiful little collar and the little vintagey buttons that I found in Echuca were from a little vintage bazaar shop. I love rummaging through those kind of stores and seeing what they've got in the way of buttons and old patterns and trimmings, because you do find some real gems, and they just reminded me of a Smartie, little red Smarties. But yeah, really love that on. It's so comfortable and floaty and breezy, and I think it'd be great for all seasons as well as for layering for winter. But I love Marsha Styles patterns, and I have made quite a few of hers before, and I love the Leela dress and blouse I've made from her as well. So definitely that with the dress version you can make with the tie as well. I did have a couple of people say they found that the sleeves were absolutely massive. And yes, I must admit they are very voluminous, but I love that with that fabric, just to show it off in all its detail there. If you have a more drapey fabric, a more soft fabric, you will get that more fluid look to it. But I love the statement that gives, and that the bright colours. But that is the Courtney. I'll show you some pics of that one. Now, this was actually another fabric that was gifted to me by My Design. Same as this one with the mountain range. This was the actual jersey that was the snow gum in the grey. It is absolutely beautiful quality jersey. I'm not sure if she has any left there, but I decided to make the cuff tee from Pattern Emporium. I wanted just a nice statement top t-shirt to show off that print. It is so lovely to wear. It's such a beautiful quality. And I just did that nice sort of rounded hem on the bottom with the side splits. I would find this a great fabric to wear even in winter, because the colours in that you can really kind of channel into those autumn winter colours of the greys and the rusts and the reds and the olive. But how good and how practical is just a long line cuff sleeve t-shirt to wear throughout all the seasons in the wardrobe. You do tend to look for those practical things, even if you're wanting to wear it with a pair of leggings and a long cardigan. Just comfortable and practical. And I've used another one of those Kylie in the Machine labels, Proud as Punch. Actually, I did notice on the Kylie Machine website, you can actually see how she attaches her labels. And if you're like me and you've never really put too much thought into that, it really will blow your mind to see how she does the labels and how professional they can look, the detail that you can put into sewing a label on. It's some great little tips. I should try and link those for you guys if you wanted to go ahead and check that out as well. But yep, really beautiful fabric. Love the top as well, and I do have links for the Pattern Emporium patterns, and also the cardigans that were out last week. Now, all of that knitwear, I had that cozy knitwear, a lot of it sold out very, very quickly after that episode. The Winter Pearl and the Amethyst wool blend, they have all sold out. So I am in the middle of getting some more knitwear. I know you guys are loving the knitwear because we're cooling down here in a lot of Australia. And I do find knitwear personally a really hard thing to find if I wanted to do some sewing with some unusual textured knitwear. You can quite often find things like jerseys and your sweater knits, but if you're wanting like a proper knit, like as in a knitted woolen knit or a blended rayon viscose knit, things like chenille knits, I am trying to get hold of some. I found some really unique things I think you guys are going to love. Let me know if you're interested in getting more knits into the store, my online store. Let me know what you'd like to see, because personally for me, I love making cardies. I love sort of cozying up and wrapping myself up in things. And although I do love coats and coat making, I just find that I don't wear coats as much. If I went, say, to work or to the city a lot more often and need a nice big cozy coat, they are practical. And I also love the look of a good trench coat as well. But the things that I just don't wear very often, and maybe if you had a more professional wardrobe, you probably would reach for them again. But I love cardigans. I just think they're really practical and cozy and warm. And even things like ponchos. I know Pattern Emporium do have the Embrace Me cardigan as well, which is a great one. So I want to make more of those. So let me know if you want to see more knitwear. I'd love to hear what it is that you're looking for, and I'm going to try and track some down for you guys. Back at Easter time, I made this beautiful Savannah dress from Named Patterns. That was done with a beautiful linen and rayon blend in the black, and I used the linen silk from Cloth Edit as well, which is that beautiful botanic colour. I really loved wearing that, and of course the weather was already cooling right down, so I've only worn it once, but I must admit the pattern itself, I love it in that long length without the elastic casing, and I copied off Gabrielle. She made one the same with the polka dots, and I really enjoyed making it. I added on the extra fabric to the ties because I didn't want to waste any of that. But the Savannah dress, it's a really unique pattern with that sort of sweetheart neck. I haven't seen many patterns around like that. And I really love the deep V at the back. You get to show off a detailed fabric. If you want to do some pattern clashing or matching, different contrasting patterns, it's a really good one for showcasing that as well. But I wanted the black to go with that just to sort of pop it out and make it a real feature. But it's got a really nice sleeve length as well. So it's really nice to, if you see a pattern and you're not quite sure if it's for you, maybe think about how you can hack it to make it more wearable in your wardrobe, because I wouldn't necessarily wear that one that was the knee length Maybe I'll go for more of a maxi or a midi dress more often. And I love the fact that with a tie you can cinch in the waist and make it more defined at the waist, or you can leave it nice and loose and floaty. So yeah, the Valo, I'll pop some pics up so you can be reminded of that one too. Another one that I brought you back, I think it was the end of March, was the Itch to Stitch Savannah dress. And I did a little bit of pattern testing for that one. And I've got to say, I absolutely love this colour. This is just my most favourite colour at the moment. This beautiful sapphire or cobalt blue, I think you'd call it. It's a scuba crepe. Love the style. Absolutely love that kind of V-neck front, and the way that the neck is more of a shawl collar, how it goes up higher at the back. Very, very simple dress, but the lines on that are really, really beautiful. I think that would look really stunning in a midi. This one's almost a midi, or a maxi version even would be beautiful. But love how that fitted on. It's very simple make, but just gives such a beautiful line to the body, such a lovely shape. And I also made another hack in the same version with a sleeveless. So I just did a double line bodice, and I actually deepened the V a little bit more on that one and made it a tiny bit longer. And I made it with a ponte. It's a very soft ponte. And I will be wearing that for layering with a belt and maybe a striped top for winter underneath as well. So that is also a fantastic pattern, Savannah dress. Yeah, and I haven't made many dresses for probably a while, since Christmas. I still can't believe Christmas was heading out to 6 months ago now. It seems like yesterday that I was doing all those Vlogmas episodes, and now we're already almost in June. Like, where has the year gone? It's absolutely crazy how fast time is going at the moment. Now at the moment I've just finished my make that will be in the bespoke box, a secret video for that, so you won't get to see that till next month. I'm to a stage now where I am free to make whatever I please. I don't think there's any new pattern releases coming out that I have to be prepared for. There's no challenges that I'm currently working on, so I feel I have that kind of creative freedom back again. I'm like, what can I make? I'm going to try and use some fabrics that I have in my store so I can show you guys bit of inspo, because I think you guys really enjoyed seeing the cardigan release from Pattern Emporium made up in the fabrics. So maybe there's something that could be happening there with some shop fabric. And I've also got some new fabric that is on its way. I'm hoping the next week or so that it'll be delivered so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'd love to hear what your favorite make from April was out of all of that. If there's anything that you love that stood out to you, let me know what it is. I'd also love to hear what you're sewing and what's keeping you all busy at the moment. So I am going to go and have a look at my stash over there and have a look at what patterns I've got, because there's quite a few new ones that I've printed out that I haven't made up yet, and I'm feeling a bit inspired to do a little bit of sewing. Now that the weather's cooling down, you start realizing what is in the wardrobe and what things that you are missing, what there's gaps for. But I must say my wardrobe is an absolute disaster at the moment. I've got to that stage where I need to be sorting through and refining things and tidying up, because after I do filming and I do a lot of photos, it just becomes like a bedlam, and there things are just shoved in. And yeah, I really need to get and sort out what I've got. But I have got a few things that I know that I want to make for heading into winter. Maybe a little bit of a dream kind of bit of inspo there. You know, when you start watching some vlogs and getting a bit of inspiration that makes you really want to sew, that's how I feel at the moment. I think there's just so many new patterns coming out and so many old favorites I want to remake as well. So I need to get busy doing that. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you could do that. And also, if you've enjoyed this episode today, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. So stay safe, everyone. Happy sewing. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.